Hello, children. I was a little off center there. All right. Today we are working on what's known as point of view. We've watched the brain pop. I've had you, again, download some notes, a couple of those. Then we're going to work on an assignment to talk about it. So let's go to the assignment itself. Again, we're going to watch this brain pop. You're going to download a couple of these charts. And I'll click on them to show you. So again, point of view, again, is Tim and Moby talked are based off of basically how we use pronouns. We did deal with pronouns when we talked earlier in the quarter about what they are. And again, when we speak about first person, we say I and me, or we and us. Again, first person point of view means I'm talking about myself. Again, second person point of view, it is when I'm speaking to the audience. Again, just like I'm teaching you right now. As I'm teaching you, I am speaking in second person point of view. Third person point of view, again, is pronouns like he, she, it, they, them, their, his, her, its. We are talking about someone that's not directly in the conversation. Even if Mrs. Gibbs and I were talking to each other and Mr. Roboto was right next to us and we were speaking about him, we could still talk about him in third person, as you see the way I'm using him to talk about Mr. Roboto. So you're going to download those notes. And then I just I hit the wrong button. Darn me. Darn me. Okay. I want to do that. Then I just want to give you another worksheet of notes that's a little more detailed. Again, instead of just having the words. Again, first person is when the character within the story recounts or retells his or her own experiences. Again, lets the reader know only what that character knows. Again, we use pronouns like I, me, mine, we, our, ours. Again, I is the big one that tells us that this is a first person point of view. Again, second person point of view just uses it from the perspective of you. Again, all we use is the pronouns you and yours. Again, it is a very uncommon form of writing. Again, it's a very common form of speaking. This is how I'm speaking right now in teaching. I'm teaching you in second person point of view because I'm talking to you either as one person or as a whole class. And we're going to look at the next page for third person point of view. Remember, there's three of them. Third person objective just means the narrator, again, is a detached observer, telling only the story's actions and dialogue. Again, lets the reader know only what is seen and heard, not what the characters think and feel. It's almost robotic. It's almost like how the news, like the news in a newspaper, a news program should be. It just recounts the facts of the story, does not give their opinion about it. Third person limited, omniscient, or just limited, is when the narrator tells the story from the point of view of one character in the story at a time. Lets the reader know that one character thinks, knows, hears, feels. Again, uses he, she, it, they. Again, if I were to tell a story about my head, again, I'm just telling you what's going on in my head, but not what anybody else is going on, which I can't say that in my head because that's first person. If I was telling a story what's going on through Mr. Roboto's head, how Mr. Roboto angrily threw his phone at his television when he saw the Broncos had won last week. He stormed out the house to say some very blue words that his 2 young daughters did not want to hear. Again, that would be third person limited, because I'm just telling you what's going on with Mr. Roboto. And then third person omniscient is when the narrator has unlimited knowledge and can describe every character's thoughts and interpret their behavior. Lets the reader know unlimited information about the characters. Again, we use the words like he, she, it, and they. But again, with omniscient, omniscient means all-knowing. Omni is Latin for all. Scient or science, which we actually pronounce now as science, is Latin for knowledge, which means all knowledge. So if we were to say, again, back then, Mr. Roboto stormed out of the house after he angrily saw the Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers last week. His wife pointed her finger at him in disgust and said, "Stay out there, and I don't want to hear any cuss words that our daughters are going to hear." She locked the door furiously, and Mr. Roboto sat in the grass ruminating his angry mood. See, again, that's third person omniscient, being able to explain how Mr. Roboto's wife and Mr. Roboto is feeling about something. A third person omniscient character is almost like a god. So, after that, you guys are going to do this worksheet. You'll click on it, but I'm going to go up to the TLS version because I'm going to help you. So click on it, please, and then follow along as I read these for you and I do number 1 with you. You can explain what point of view POV is being used in each passage and describe why. In each of the 5 passages, one of the 5 POVs is being used. First person, second person, third person objective, third person limited, third person omniscient. 20 points, because each the POV and the why is each 2 points apiece. So each one 1 through 5, is worth 4 points total, hence 20. I'll read all of these and then we'll come back to do number 1 together. Number 1. 2 roads diverged within a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. That's the first stanza from The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Number 2. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, well, you just might find you get what you need. Sorry, that's the chorus from You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Rolling Stones. 3. The students worked on their point of view assignments in Mr. Shornack's class. They watched a Brain Pop video, downloaded notes, and watched Mr. Shornack explain how to do the assignment. After that, they all worked on their assignment. 4. Leon nervously rustled his hair, and his fingers shook like Pompeii after Vesuvius. He went to his Facebook page, then typed in Allison's name as his fingers thumped like his heart with every click of his keyboard. He sweated as he looked at the Send Friend Request button. He clicked on it with the authority of Hulk playing a game of whack-a-mole. 5. Allison's doldrum of a long night was about to come to an end of her advisor shift at school. She was as beat as Dwight Schrute's farm. As she slumped into her car and turned its ignition, her phone buzzed like a fly. Friend request. The royal blue button screamed. Oh, dear Lord, not him. She sighed as she saw Leon's name. Her right thumb instinctively clicked the decline button as she let the night drive her home to bed. Leon, in his mind, played zombie video games as he waited for his phone to light up like the 4th of July. 5 minutes to midnight, and Leon's eyes were tired like a 2-year-old after a tantrum. He thought, she's never going to respond, and he lumbered to his bed of solitude. So, again, on all those, you're going to tell me what's the point of view and why. So if we look back at number 1, I know that the point of view is first person. We can abbreviate point of view and say POV. Why? We can say the passage is using I to explain what is going on. So that is telling us that this is coming from the narrator, the speaker's point of view. So that's how you do this assignment. Again, all of these are going to be one of the 5 different points of view. We already did first person, so there's no more first persons. As always, if you have any questions, please message me on Schoolology, or please unmute yourself on Synchronous Learning, and I will assist you as best as possible. Thank you very much, Pirates, and have a super sparkly day.